what going on, people, is when I host for Upinsideyuh. As I tell one we again Upinsideyuh with a beliefs, Upinsideyuh with a life, and Upinsideyuh with a business. And I bring in a big businessman here so to win it today. I Tridentcutz business.
Tridentcutz.
We got my man Keita as usual in the building. But look, we both to get Upinsideyuh this man here, so everything to do with he, then it, we had a conversation, then it off limits. So you don't know we can be Upinsideyuh this man business. Yeah. So Andrew, welcome to the show. So let me jump right into it.
Yeah.
Tridentcutz,
yes,
barber shop,
barber
studio.
Yes.
Where exactly did you get that name from? Let me get the normal questions and formalities and things together. Where did the name Tridentcutz come from?
I always was fascinated with Detroit from a little boy. I love.
Speaking about Detroit or Barbados.
I started with Detroit because there's great birth from.
Right.
So I always was fascinated with Detroit in turn. The story behind the broken Trident and so forth coming out as a little man, and I always wanted it either as a tattoo or something that I passionate about. I want with me some form of fashion. I want with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? The reason why they named it Tridentcutz is because I just love Detroit. I just love Detroit, and obviously barbering is my passion. It's something that I'm passionate about. Right. So I collab the two together. You know, because it's a journey that I know I can take, and when I take this journey, I know looking back.
Okay.
So I know for sure when I see it written in stone in my books.
Right.
So when I name it like that, I just want it to be like forever. I want to stand out. Obviously, in the industry in barbering, there's got a lot of different names and stuff. So I wanted it to stand out, and I a little patriotic too.
Right.
I a little patriotic too. So I actually wanted to be like, you know, when people hear the name, it sounds real patriotic, but yet still it representing something that I'm passionate about.
Right.
So that's the reason why I actually named it like that, to just stand out, and it's something that I'm passionate about, fascinated about broken trading, and just collab it with something that I'm passionate about.
I'm gonna say, like, for the time we first came here, like, I seen the logo alone, I said, like, this is hard work, and legend has it that this logo was created by the owner yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. It happened when I bought a sketch. I was looking for a nice logo because I didn't want a boring, it was a traditional logo. Because usually people will use Detroit and just have it there by itself, looking like it comes straight from the flag. You understand? So I mean, I wanted it not to incorporate my passion in it artistically. So what I did, I do some sketches, I do some research on Google, and look at some different types of tridents and stuff, and get some ideas. So what I did, I came across one with the trident with like it's a broken trident, but it was just there by itself. So I was saying, you know what? And you just work with scissors and you just work with tools. So you have the trident here in front, you know. How are you going to get the scissors and the actual blades or machines or whatever that you want to incorporate in the trident? How would you get it in there if you draw it in or whatever, how you create it? So I looked at it for 5 minutes. I drew the trident first, and I looked at it for 5 minutes, and I was like, yo, Andrew, how you can get this incorporated? You can't leave it clean. So I looked at it, I went back at it, but let me say, three different times to come up with different concepts. So I draw, I didn't like it. So then I said, it was getting late, and I fell asleep on it. I said, man, I can sleep on this one. 3 a.m. I don't know what, I can't remember what day it was, but 3 a.m. in the morning, I get a vision from the Tridentcutz.
Tridentcutz.
The Tridentcutz tapped me on my shoulder and said, yeah, Joe, we got something here for you. We got something here for you. Go on and proceed to do so, wake up! But my trident was black though. That was the amazing part about it. But anyhow, that was Beijing Poseidon. Anyhow. Right, so I get a vision of it, and I say, yo, I want this left in my mind. I get it. I might say, Andrew, get off your lazy ass, but you forget in the morning. I actually literally run for the sketch pad. My wife thought it was a cockroach. Anyhow, so she said, what happened, babe? A cockroach? I said, nah, man, nah. And then so I went for sketch pad. I got idea how I want to draw my logo. Went for it, take a pencil, and start sketching. And it just, everything that was in my mind, I said I want to incorporate obviously my passion, which is my barbering. So I just said, look, I'm dropping 2 scissors here alongside of it. And I look at it, I said, I like a little board, maybe dropping 2 little razors. You know what I mean? At first it was a little shady, but then obviously when the graphics God no come in now and put it into action now. I actually still got the sketch pad there, I think, because I plan to the next 10 years to actually bring it back up and show people how it really started. I got a really strong story behind this thing. But anyhow, I drew it out and thing, and it was like, alright, cool. Let this here for the graphics man. The graphics man deal with it. So the graphics man was at that time nocturnal. They do stuff for Uber Soccer. They do advertisements for Uber Soccer and stuff. They live not too far from me, so them men is bad boys. Them men hard. The ball gonna look for them nocturnal.
So you can say then that you put a lot of emphasis, thought, time, energy into this logo, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be your brand.
Yeah.
It's something that's gonna represent you for the remainder of the tenure that Tridentcutz Barber Studio is around in Barbados.
Yeah.
So I heard you mention wife. So as I said, they are inside your business and they are
inside.
So how long were you married? And is this a combination between yourself and your wife in terms of the business, or is it just you as sole proprietor?
Well, I must say I gotta give my wife a lot of respect and a lot of forward and credit for the help that she put into it, because she saw my vision just like how I saw it, how I looked at it,
And that's rare.
That's very rare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's very rare. So she helped me in terms of designing the business plan for the actual business, structuring it. You know, I would give her obviously my because I did a lot of research and so forth. Being that I managed brothers for at least near 9 years, I gathered all the information that I needed, and obviously when I told her about it, and she just put it on paper and then structure it the way how it's supposed to be structured. And she also helped me, give me little guidelines on how to deal with it paperwork wise. All I do is got here, but no, in the paperwork, the more corporate part of it, in terms of like managing financing of the business. And she took up the role of being human resource manager, or human resource, or however you want to put it. And I prefer her with that role because I got a soft heart. I can't walk in I can't take in a boy job.
I understand what you're saying.
I can't take in a boy job. The men do a lot of nonsense. I mean, it's standard in any business. Employees just do crap at some point. I was an employee, I did crap. Right? But I don't have the heart, I don't have the heart to fast someone.
So you're the good guy, and wifey will be the bad guy.
Yeah, the good guy, naive type of person, but she's the rough home. She
knows every successful businessman is a strong black woman.
It's true.
Let me point to the camera for that one to just be out here putting in that work behind the boyfriends, the husbands, to keep them going. Because what you said is very important. Most men don't have the background for business models because we weren't taught it. But what I can say is a lot of women out here are like, just their mentalities and the way that they approach issues like that is amazing, and they really need to be. Let's say this. That woman I need you
like never before.
So let me
large off
the black women for that for sure. Okay, so moving on. You mentioned that you manage Brothers Barbershop, which is another widely known barbershop within the region of Barbados. How did you go through their school and come up through the ranks, and then you got the opportunity to become a managerial persona within that business?
Well, it all started whereas when I was a young boy, and I was 14 years at the time, and my mom, I got it's 5 brothers, including me, we met 6 boys my brother had. And she couldn't afford, me being real here, she couldn't afford to send all of me to the barber. You know what I mean? And they got like that type of curly hair, and then they got a brother there that got hard hair. I come out of a mixed family. My mother black and my father Indian. But I'm proud to be a Bajan. You understand? Let me just say that because everybody's think that I'm a Bajan because of oil up. But I don't mind that. If I see a Chinese walk inside the barbershop, he's a fucking Chinese. He's a Chinese.
Yeah, you feel like
he's a Chinese.
So you feel like people just put on you that you're a Guyanese or something?
Well, I get Guyanese, Trinidadian, Dushan, and I don't mind because all is Caribbean. And it's not like you discriminate or anything. If I see someone and they look like someone, I would assume that is that person.
But you look like a black man to me.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a compliment. I appreciate that. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, from that, and that's another thing we need to let the people know. Keto was the person who actually introduced me to Andrew some, I can't remember how many years ago it is now.
Yes, 5. It was reasonable that year.
And it's like, from the time I saw him, usually what happens in Barbados, you get, categorized by the way that you look, quote unquote. So, but when I saw Andrew, I was thinking, black fella, that's it. That's truthfully what came to my head.
At first, in my younger, growing up as a little man, and you ain't got much Indian looking boys out there. I actually believe that I'm black. In my mind, like I'm raising up around black people, I believe that I'm black, my mom black. She whole family. And then what was interesting about my life, I live 2 different cultures.
Okay, that's a beautiful thing.
I live 2 different cultures. I live the black culture, which is Bajan, and my father coming from Ghana, Indian culture. So 2 different cultures, and it was interesting because, and that's why I would never be regretful of how I raised, despite of what people think of me. It was interesting to know that side of the family and this side in 2 different races. Mixed race. Anybody in a mixed race will tell you that is an very interesting life to live. Because as people say, man, he's a Guyanese man. He left from Roy Ming, and that part was actually hurt me the most because that had me feeling like I didn't belong. You know what I mean? So, but what would have hold me there is being that I have so much siblings. It was no need for friends, but I just liked company. You know what I mean?
It's association because it is something that's actually taking the world by storm right now, which is the segregation of blacks, the issues that are going on worldwide in terms of black lives. I mentioned that Barbadian people enjoy a covert type of racism where that is not open to us, but it is there. The feeling is there, the knowledge is there. It's just that we don't have white people walking up to us and calling us niggers. You understand? So, based on everything that has been transpiring over the past couple of weeks, months, really, what's your particular stance on the situation as it is right now?
What's my take on the whole situation?
Yeah,
justice got get served. Justice got get served. I mean, okay. When I say justice, in my mind, that is what the people need. So it ain't even have nothing. Well, for me, it ain't have nothing to do with race anymore. People getting things for the color, they getting discriminated, and they getting killed by police. But the whole thing for me is, I believe in justice. And if America decide to focus on the justice the way they should and the way they say they should, these things will never happen.
That makes sense.
These things would never happen.
A whole can of worms saying, I think this conversation or interview will go into Black Lives Matter. Because what you are saying is basically is that the fact of the matter is that a man's life was taken. And for the conversation about but this in a but is so you're trying to tell me that the act that was taking place is we could dance around the whole conversation that a person inadvertently took a man's life and there's a but in the conversation. No, straight justice as in he should be locked up, he should be stripped of whatever accolades or whatever he got, and he should be literally labeled a criminal. A criminal law enforcement individual. But that's a whole kind of work.
You don't bring back the emotions that I turn up all
But I still have been living this integrity. Correct. And as you know, we still definitely want people to understand that wars are not won in a week, in a month, in a year. This is something that will be long suffering. It's something that we have been going through for a very long time. And a couple, this is about black issues.
It's all posted in. That's it. All life will only matter when black life start to matter.
Well,
Yeah, but fair enough. Life is a balance, kiddo. Life is a balance. And if the scale do like that, then I mean unbalance.
Right.
You understand?
So we got
something
something here to bring it back.
to bring it back.
Yes.
I know black life matter for sure. And as a black business owner,
Right.
I know it gotta be tough.
Yeah.
I know starting a business from scratch.
And that's the thing that I don't understand. Like, if, for instance, me that knows stuff, when I started my journey looking for, because I had some funds there, right? But I also needed some funding for the particular things that I want in terms of the branding and the scissors, the branding. I believe in branding. Branding is very important.
Definitely.
It separates you from the rest of the competition in the
You
industry.
surely gotta get a shot on everything that you got in this barbershop because everything from the time
Branding,
that I walk
and
in,
that's something that I want
everything is
youngsters to
branding.
know. Branding is important. It separates you
Branding is key.
from the rest of whether you selling cakes,
Right.
relation.
And that brings me to the next thing because under the label, under your logo,
Yeah.
it says every cut
Slogan.
is a creation, and that's a really big deal because
Yeah.
it makes me feel like every time anybody sits down in a chair, in your chair, you're gonna treat it like if it's your first haircut because you got something to prove.
Exactly.
So let me talk a little bit, which transitions into employees. How many employees currently do you have?
Well, I have 6 stations, but currently I have 5 barbers. That is because since COVID-19 had hit us or struck us, I lose 2 major barbers, and it really impacted Tridentcutz in a major way. Because those were the guys that the hotros that helping, the place to run.
Yeah.
So when I lose 2 of my main guys, 2 of my pillars, it was down one, and I got new barbers. So it's hard having new barbers in the establishment because when clients come now, they be like, man, Drew, I
I know these guys.
I know these
You know
guys.
what
I know I've met at barbershop.
So that's why-
females in the barbershop.
Yeah.
They always want to get somebody you know.
That is
the
familiar.
word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why every day I try to build content on each barber. I try to push each barber.
Yeah.
I do little videos.
But don't
little
give away
photos.
everything yet. Don't give away everything yet. We can get to them particular points.
Okay.
So you got currently 6 stations, but 5 barbers.
Yeah.
What's the age range of your barbers?
Well, I got very young barbers because I like young barbers because Tridentcutz is not only a barbershop to come and cut here. It's a platform for young barbers to actually come and build
transitions
themselves
into
and grow.
employees. How many employees currently do you have?
Well, I have 6 stations, but currently I have 5 barbers. That is because since COVID-19 had hit us or struck us, I lose 2 major barbers, and it really impacted Tridentcutz in a major way. Because those were the guys that the hotros that helping, the place to run.
Yeah.
So when I lose 2 of my main guys, 2 of my pillars, it was down one, and I got new barbers. So it's hard having new barbers in the establishment because when clients come now, they be like, man, Drew, I
know these guys.
I know these
You know what
guys.
to
I know I've met at barbershop.
So that's why-
females in the barbershop.
Yeah.
They always want to get somebody you know.
That is
the
familiar.
word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why every day I try to build content on each barber. I try to push each barber.
Yeah.
I do little videos.
But don't
little
give away
photos.
everything yet. Don't give away everything yet. We can get to them particular points.
Okay.
So you got currently 6
Six
stations, but
stations.
5 barbers.
Yeah.
What's the age range of your barbers?
Well, I got very young barbers because I like young barbers because Tridentcutz is not only a barbershop to come and cut here. It's a platform for young barbers to actually come and build themselves and grow. That's one of the reasons why I actually opened Tridentcutz too, because I didn't have that when I started my journey in barbering. I realized that the industry looked at barbering as just cutting hair. No, it's not just cutting hair. It's a lot more. It's a whole lot more. And the reason why I would like or appreciate young barbers because it reminded me of me when I first started, but it reminded me of me having an opportunity now to grow. So my barbers, the oldest Well, the youngest is probably 19, and the oldest is probably 21.
Okay, so you would say then that Tridentcutz Barber Studio is a springboard and
There you
an
go.
opportunity for
There
younger
you go.
barbers to come in
There you
when
go.
they,
Build
the
clientele.
say right behind the ears, to come in, build clientele, build the confidence, and then if they do decide to separate themselves from the company, the
No,
business.
not if they do. They
Uh-huh.
will. Barbering is a very independent type of industry too.
I agree.
Each barber want his own business.
Right.
Each hairdresser want their own business.
Right.
It's just that's how the nature of the whole industry
So you
is.
can't take it personal.
So,
when somebody moves.
I cannot take it personal. That's
You
why
could.
I want clientele. I
But
could.
you choose not
I
to.
choose not to.
Because
Because it hurts.
I
It
know
actually
of other
hurts.
businesses that, you know, that you would give maybe 5, 9, 10 years to a company,
Yeah.
and then when you decide to spread your wings, you're seen as a person that you abandoning shit.
Yeah.
But that was something that we spoke about as well
Yeah.
on the outside, and that really had to bring it back up for the viewers.
Oh, okay.
That Tridentcutz is not set up to lock anybody in place
Nope.
for the betterment of you and
Correct.
the business. It is more
Correct.
so a public service.
There you go.
Because if I were a young lady leaving Samuel Jackson Prescott Polytechnic and I just finished the course to do massage therapy, I would want somebody to give me an opportunity
Exactly.
to gain experience, to gain clientele, so that I could then
And
become a business
Not for
person.
you, but that is the main reason why, that's one of the main reasons why I open Tridentcutz, and that's why I have so much distance, because I want to bring that platform to the young barbers and let them know, well look, if when I left TVET, when I left Polytechnic, wherever when I left, even if when I cut here, when I back here and decide I want to come in here and cut here, no problem.
Right.
That is why here open, and that's why I just hope and pray that I actually have enough clientele to sustain it here for those reasons.
They think Drew, like, I
For
know
those
you're from
reasons.
when you were a young barber, and like these barbers nowadays, though, do you find that they have the same hunger that you had when you were a young barber?
Well, it's hard to find that particular hunger now. You see it, but you don't see it as much. So it's very rare to find that hunger. I mean, they're still hungry, they're still eager, they still want to get it, but they're not going for it as hard as they should, because
What do you think?
as we know, generations change.
I was just about to ask if you believe that social media has anything to do with that, because what I would say is, once upon a time, a barber was advertised via word of mouth.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the youngsters, they could take a whole bunch of videos, fancy them up,
Yeah.
and put them online,
Yeah.
and then from there, that video could just take off,
Go
and
on.
then that person went from 3 clients on Tuesday to 50 clients
Yeah.
by Friday. So,
It's true.
so the beauty about it is, and I think it's also the beauty, is the gift and curse. Because the gift is, I can reach more people via my one little video of my haircut,
Yeah.
but it also puts a sense of quote-unquote laziness into it, because I would say that you had to work hard. You were one of the
I
people
love
that
that,
had
I
to
love
work
that.
up. You were one of the people that had to put in the work and pay you dues to get to the level that you are right now. So are you upset that it's so easy for barbers now to make a top name for themselves without actually having that body of work that you would have put in back in time before social
I'm like
media?
body of work, right? I can tell you from personal experience, I've seen this man cut ridiculous amounts of
Yes. Yeah.
in a day, right?
Yeah.
Kid know my journey, kid know my journey. Jai know it too, but
Yeah.
kid
I
know.
came on the back end.
Kid
I came
know.
on the back end, but yeah,
Kid
I saw a
know
lot of
where the
people.
hunger,
a lot of
my
people
belly was
saying,
touching my back now.
That's one
Oh,
another rough thing there too.
Yeah,
The fact
me.
that I know that you probably want to keep the clients moving,
So aggressive when it comes to barbering and the style of barbering, because I want to be one of the guys that actually change barbering. I hope people look at barbering in Barbados. Furthermore, the Caribbean, if I get to that level, I was just studying. I set a target. Every day I set a target. When I wake up, I set a target in my mind, and that's what I want the youngsters to do, and young barbers in particular, or anybody in the industry. Maybe when I wake up in the morning, set a target. Set a target how much money you want to make. Put it in your mind. You know what I mean? And stick to it. Don't mind when you get there, you don't see nobody. Stick to that target, and it just happens. It, I mean, yeah, it keep it positive all the time. Let go of the old energy. when you come inside your shop, you know,
So if you had a bad day yesterday, don't bring that
energy the next day.
So let me just, it's a fresh day.
Because what I find too, when you bring that energy, the customers feel that energy.
That's a fact.
Energy is a powerful thing, you know.
It is.
Energy is a powerful thing. So if you had a situation where as you get with your girlfriend or whatever, and you bring that to work, it affects your work.
Yeah.
Don't mind you might be the best barber in town, it affects your work. Because no, you don't have that same enthusiasm with your customer saying, how was your day or whatever, you mouth shut, you couldn't hear it. And your customer then realize, something wrong with you, boy. Something wrong with you. And then he can feed off of that energy, and that's not good.
And that's the one thing I test to, like, you know, I've been my barber for years, right? And I come here on days like down spirits, right? And always feeling bad, but his energy is so consistent.
Contagious.
Contagious. And it's like, you in the barber chair, you might be mindfully talking, but he can straight to a conversation, a meaningful conversation.
So that would mean that
Appreciate it.
you really multifaceted because you're a barber, you're a psychologist, all of these things. So how you would say that you have a situation, or no, really, you would say that on a daily basis that you connect with people and you bring them out of funks. Sometimes you could tell that sign a little off with somebody, and but you get nature, having conversation with them. It might not even be about what it is that they're going through, but just giving them a great experience.
Correct. You see,
lift that
it's
person's
true.
spirit.
And I'm glad you touch on that too, because being a barber is not only, that's what I say, it's not only cutting hair, you know, this is another reason too. Barbering is therapy. It is therapy for men, it's therapy for women. Whoever sitting on the barber chair is therapy, because you can have a bad day, the customer can have a bad day, but you just asking that customer, how was your day, or crack a little joke and make you laugh, the man will be much more comfortable. And that is what building relationship with your barber and client is very important. And that's why, the reason why those things are important, it keeps a clientele for years.
Person is rated for you better than that person, then well, you know.
Right,
But yeah, so we were saying barber, artist, psychologist, and now
family
man. Well, family man, we can get back to that because it's a very important job too, but that's another part of it.
Okay.
Talk to me about your music. Tell me about the song that you brought out those 2 years ago.
First of all, give us your name.
Right.
Well, first of all, my stage name is Drew Sharp. Drew Sharp. The reason, and Alto Ego gave me that name when it was me, Justy, and Davian. Alto Ego in the studio that night. We were recording at Chris Allman studio, and man was like, what name we gonna get Drew? What name we gonna get Drew? Right. He's a barber. Right. And Alto Ego said, you got hair sharp, right? So yeah. So I put it together. Then Drew Sharp. Hold on, some Drew Sharp, and I was like, yo. It incorporated what I do, and it's also part of my name, my actual name, you know, and what people call me, you know what I mean. So that's where I get my name from. Alter Ego. Alter Ego actually gave me my name, Drew Sharp. Yeah. So how I get into music? It started at Richard Stokes. It started. Yeah, it was part of that. I did. I started at school.
Let me ask you a question. You do anything normal, like play football or anything? Because
I was
as a young citizen. I was playing football, I was playing cricket, doing karate and this.
I played.
You did barbering, you did controlling the household, you did acting talent. You talk to me, tell me.
Well, to be honest, it really started from school. I went to school in St. Lucie Secondary. I'm very proud to say so because I learned a lot. You know, people's got a stigma about different schools and all that. I don't deal with that. It's what you do when you get there. That's what it's deep. It's what you do when you get there.
Straight to carry a conversation in school. You know what I mean? More than somebody there foolish. You know what I'm saying?
And most of my friends, majority of my friends, I would say, most of them at the Cormier, most of them at St. Michael. And you know what I mean? So it started at St. Lucie. I used to play basketball, but you know, I wasn't a good sportsman. I am afraid to say that. So I had to find something else to fall back on. And I had a music teacher, his name was Mr. Holford, and he said, well, there's a project coming up, and we want you to be a part of it. I was like, we had got other fellas in school, and he said, Drew, what going on? That ain't like you. I was like, I wanted to try something different. So we went in the music room and he started to play a tune or whatever, and he had the song there. I can't remember what the song was. I think it was Leaving on a Jet Plane. Yeah, Leaving on a Jet Plane. He tell me, sing that. And I was like, sing what? I said, sing that. You got if you're doing singing in the pageant, you got to learn. You got to start from note. And I was like, yo, if I want to do this, I got to do it. You know what I mean? If I'm good at sports, I got to be good at something. And they went for it and they sing. So long story short, that's where it started from. And in that pageant, in the first and Lucy second pageant, I came first runner up, and then in the second one, I actually won the pageant with Best Talent.
Wow.
Right?
Artists.
Yeah. Then I went on to the inter-school pageant. I don't know if one of them remember the inter-school pageant. I put bare holes in the inter-school pageant, man. I put bare holes, right?
I only ever perform at school.
Yeah, and I get Best Talent in the school pageant too.
Yeah.
Right? I was up against men like Just J. That is the J now. I was up against a whole lot of talented men.
Yeah.
And from there I just discovered that, you know, just singing is something you like.
Yeah.
So from there I went on to Richard Stowe.
It
was at the school pageant?
Yeah, it was at that one.
So you see
Yeah.
But anyway.
All these pretty boys and things.
But yeah.
Not me. I just
You never
perform
tell me
at
so?
school bigger.
But I used to perform back then, so that's the thing. I used to rap back then.
Alright. You see how things is come out? You see how things is come out?
rap ludicrous song and all the people sing curse words. I didn't supposed to curse and they didn't, all they curse. So that's my thing. We are good.
Right. So from there, I discovered that I could sing a song, yeah. So then I went with Richard Stowe, and I did well in all my preliminaries. Went to the finals, came second. I never won. I ain't gonna sit no friends kind of say they Richard Stowe. No.
Well, you can do your research.
Yeah, I want to do your research.
You can not show yourself here.
Nah, but I came second. I can't remember the year it was. I came second before. From there, I went on and tried to record music other ways, but I then realized that music at that time didn't make any money for me. So I dropped it, and that's many time back to where I was talking about. Remember me said slap me in my face, say look, I can't send all these here, the barber here, cut some glass here. So now I wear the barber now, the barber chapter now, open up now. You understand? So back to the singing now. Anyhow, so then I Justy, that's very not Justy. That's very not Justy. True Richard Stowe, and he could tell you. That's how we actually know each other from. Richard Stowe. I know Omar, which is Marsville. No, he was in that. He was there too. So yeah,
you rub shoulders with some pretty
some talented men, some gifted men in the industry.
This industry today.
Yeah, the man just gas on left me, but I'm but yeah.
It's your time now. It's your time now.
Your first song, it was very original.
Yeah,
it went a long way.
Right. So tell me what was the name of the song?
Kiss on Mecca was my first song. Yeah, Kiss on Mecca. It was written by Davian, written by Justy, produced by Justy, and it did very good that year. It got a lot of airplay. I don't know if people familiar with it. One of my biggest gigs I got that year was Awaken. Okay. I was so excited about that. I was ultimately excited because for new artists in Barbados, it's hard to even get an opportunity to go to the cavalcade. You understand? So to go to a level like Awaken. Dude, that I went home, I sing off my wife ears, they let me start screaming. I said, Daddy, shut up, no, I want to sing. But yeah, that was my first song, and I get some really good performances. I went Bucket Fest that year.
Wow.
The song did really, really good for a new artist, so that gave me enough confidence to go further now the next year. So I said, you know what? But mind you, a song is really expensive, and this is not to discourage anybody. I'm speaking real right here. A song, it may be expensive. It may not be expensive to other people, but it's expensive to me, being that I have a lot of arrangements, a lot of things dealing with.
Right.
So it's like probably about 3,000 Barbados a song on my end. Right. So I said I can do something next year, but I can do something once a year, because everyone said, man, you should do 2 songs, you should do 3 songs. No, I stick in with what I can handle. Right. So I did. So last year, no.
You got
It's true. You understand?
You know, RBB.
If I could afford 5 songs, I would have done it. But you know, let me be real.
But I think, you know, honestly, the fact that you said that was your first year on the soca field, and it did so well, it kind of set a precedent that, you know, coming back, you know, because consistency is usually the issue in that genre of music. Consistency is the number one reason why so many people sometimes don't come back.
Yeah, you gotta get one and done.
You should try, you should, you know.
Those are the things that I bear in mind too, because let me all be real. To please a Bajan audience, you gotta come real good. You gotta come real good. You can't be.
Last year, December 31st.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of going to Toronto Square to seeing a live show. It was the first time that I really ever attended a show of that magnitude. And when I tell you that these people the crowd was so appreciative of those people on the stage.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people singing in a language I don't know. Some people sound terrible with melody. but at the end of every single song, the entire crowd erupting with just gratitude, and that the people came on and gave a performance. It is true. Whenever a Barbadian crowd move into your music, you know that you accomplish something, bro.
You do saying good deal. I got another one this year too.
You got one this year.
I haven't heard it as yet. I haven't heard it as yet.
Is off of the Goldust rhythm, written, produced, mixed and mastered by Davian. This boy is talented. This boy talented. Right. All the songs that I sing, the man right. Just the core, right, the first one, but the two, and he's do a lot of rhythms too. So it was on a rhythm called The Dark Horse last year, which did
That was last year.
That was last year.
Okay.
It was Kiss America
last
year.
Sorry.
Right, sorry. And that did well too. You can ask Kida had me at one. He shows Barry Sober, big up Barry Sober. Large off, he made give me a little maybe grace on the stage and show my talent and stuff. That I appreciate that. I get a lot of performances last year too again. I can't remember. Let me see. I did Beer Fest last year. And a couple of karaoke's and stuff, you know, I try to get out there. But what really touched me the most is that big respects to DMZ, big respects to John Doe. These men is new artists, DJs. You know, large off the whole team. But I mean, these is men that I point out because these men look after me on the radio. These men is playing my music. These men is play new artists' music. So I want large off them, man.
DMZ, big up with themselves because that's what's important. Actually, today was having this conversation with a friend about giving artists the opportunity to come forward, because it's just like but you see the beauty about what you do is that it transcends and it cascades right across your entire life, because you created a platform and a springboard for young barbers or young business people, and now you're being showed the
consistency. Exactly, because not only us here in Barbados hear our music is everybody all over. And you don't want people in Trinidad, or you don't want people in St. Lucia saying you hear that song, think them in Barbados is like what's unreal. You want people saying good stuff about Bajan music. You understand? So those are the reasons why people be skeptical when artists bring a song they play on the radio.
So what's next for?
Right, I was just about to ask, like, what's your biggest dream when it comes to music? Like, you want to be able to say that you've been to Trinidad Carnival, or
I would like to touch
it's nothing. It's
Nottingham.
You want to reach that level? You want to pass that level?
Well,
you want.
What you say?
Music.
You want me as a backup singer?
What you trying to do? But nah.
You want to get to the level of Marshall?
To be real honest, I'm real careful with music because being that I have so much to deal with financially, I don't want just to draw everything and let me focus on Nottingham or Trinidad or whatever. I want to be able to have music next to me while I do something that I'm passionate about. If music takes me thus far, then it would go thus far.
So are you not passionate about music?
I am, but listen to what I'm telling you, bro. let me face reality. Does music pay me the way how I want? People can say, oh Andrew, but if you like that, just drop what you're doing and focus on the music. But let me be real, if I do that, I gotta remember I got a family, I gotta remember I got a wife, I gotta remember I got bills. So I can't go after it how I would love to.
Understood.
But I can run with it next to me. As far as I go, I run with it.
That's good because
I run with it. So whatever it take me at the end of the day, Chad and Nikita, I will go with it. But for now, I can just run with it alongside me. I ain't leaving it off. I run with it. That Iman left one, he sword. But you know what I mean? I left my music, my sword. You know what I mean? So
he ain't because he's new sword.
Yeah, he's new sword. Yeah. But I like Thundercats. I don't know what mention him, man. I like Thundercats. Come on, big man. No, you can be Bruce Allen, you know? How you get this combination?
Talking about Thundercats.
This is not Dragon Ball Z that you can fuse and you can do this and do that. And instead of saying that, the reason I want to run with music, don't say me. I don't want to ever forget it. But wherever it takes me, I will go. Wherever my barber takes me, I will go. But I focus in on barbering because it helps me pay my bills. And I'm also, don't think, I'm also just as hungry for barbering as for my music. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm writing the book because...
Let me say this to you as well. I find that within, I don't know if to say the black community, but I feel more so like in the Caribbean because this is very born and raised as well. We are sometimes led to believe that we can only have one passion or excel at one thing. But I am here to tell you that that's not true. Because multifaceted people need to exist in this world. You know, there's an old time saying, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But a man like you would be able to survive in the event that one trade drops. Because if it's just an accountant and then they don't need me anymore,
I don't point out two sportsmen, two leading sportsmen right now. Look at Jordan. Jordan.
Right, yeah.
And the man went into golf. He wasn't good at golf. He was whack, but he knew he could play golf.
Right.
Look at Bolt. Bolt is the fastest man in the world, and he know into football. Well, I don't know if he into football still, but he can play football.
Yeah, I know he's still continuing.
But I draw to the references to just show people, well, look, these men is the successful men. These men is the ultimate sportsmen in what they do. But look, they're touching other things to see if there's just
they don't have to do it. They don't have to do it. They're doing it.
Exactly.
I feel like that's not a bad example, but I wouldn't really use them because the everyday person cannot relate to them. Let me use Ramal, for example, which is the third person that's a part of our production. Right. Ramal is a guy that is into cars heavy, he's into video, editing, creation, production, audio, he's into spin classes, he has his own, he's heavily into the creating of websites. So Ramal is a better example of just spreading yourself into things that you love or naturally come to you. Because for me, I love to voice act. I love to act because I've been on the stage before.
I know that part for sure.
And everything.
I know that part for sure.
I always wanted to become a radio announcer.
First stand-up comedy, just let me know what you know, right?
I think for stand-up comedy, I think I would be better as a ghostwriter though.
You know, like how Steve Harvey started out?
Like how Kevin Hart is the face of his comical stuff, but he got the record boys that are
Steve Harvey started like that.
I feel like that is where I would excel.
Steve Harvey started like that. Steve Harvey used to ghostwrite for this comedian, and one day, the comedian guy wife say, "You was the guy that's right for my husband. Why don't you come down by the place and do a little joke or whatever?" From there, the man let go the joke me, and from there Steve Harvey is who Steve Harvey is right now. And I heard that clip on YouTube a couple of days ago, around the week, speaking, just 2 days ago.
But that's
so you could be the ghostwriter, no problem. Yeah, I'm just showing you that what the ghostwriter started from. And where he is now.
Progress.
And then also we gotta remember that the structure here is also for a traditional type of job, like working in a bank. working as a nurse, no disrespect to nurses and anybody who has a 9 to 5 for sure.
They're disrespect back there.
Essential workers, man.
I'm just saying that under normal circumstances, we told to go to school, get an education, find a good job, quote unquote.
But get a house and get a car. Like if it dies.
But you know, there are more things out there that make, like a whole lot of money that are not traditional jobs.
And if COVID-19 show you that wild with, because it's all about, a lot of people were taught in school to get a job like that. But you see the trades, being a plumber, being a carpenter, being a barber, these are the men that people don't want those for a job, but those are the important jobs.
I believe in that 100% because the same accountant that working in their beautiful AC office, who can build the house for them? Who can run pipes so that the water comes to their taps? So until the day that water could come through Wi-Fi, plumbers will always do a job.
For sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
So,
but you know, running a business, and all you got to be time consuming, right? And as a family, you got a decent family, a nice family, nice wife, and no time.
Thank you.
Three beautiful boys, you know what I mean?
What was the ages of your sons?
My first boy is 10. Second boy is 6. The third boy is 3. Aiden, Liam, and Elijah.
How hard is it as a business owner and time consuming as your business is spending time with your family? That will tough.
Getting into the music, that's also
sometimes you might not even be able to get 2 off days, you may get 1 off day. How hard is it to spend time with your family?
It's not hard. It's how you manage your time.
Yeah.
Well, don't let me say that. It can be hard, yes, but it can be challenging. It's how you manage your time.
Right.
At the end of the day, you separate, the sheep ring go up by just basically saying, look, this is work time, this is studio time, and this is family time. Right. So you just set aside your times. It don't happen in one day. It's a practice too. It's something that you go like a routine. That you go practice, that it becomes for you comfortable or uncomfortable, but you as the individual have to make it comfortable for yourself, for sure.
So in regard to what would your wife say about your time management? Because we just heard it from your point of view, but
she
what
would
was
say
the feedback from your wife?
She would say that I just be real busy,
right?
But she knows that with every time that I can spend with her, I will do that. She knows that. That's why I share my time with my boys, my family. When I say my boys, I mean my friends, because I can meet my sons too. But I actually share the time. Sometimes I share it whack, but sometimes most of the time I share it good because I know it can affect my marriage.
Right.
It could definitely affect my marriage.
How long did you say you were married?
10 years.
And how long was your relationship?
This year in October 30, 11 years.
Right. So how long you were with your wife?
I was with Leona for 11 years. Because we knew each other a year before we got married.
Whoa.
Yeah, they can say marriages too. They could work. Just roll with the punches.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to 2 years old and married for 10 years.
Yeah.
So you basically your what is called the selfish stage. Because I too had a daughter when I was young. And I gave up my quote unquote freedom.
So you
so that I
definitely
would have been yeah.
As a young father, you just go. And then when men was hurting, once when men go, I go in Miami here, I go here with my friend Miami or whatever. You can't even say whatever role you got. You know that you got a little one, and you can't left your wife with that little one. I will let it go Miami. We'll keep it going and party down. You want to start with it, Canada and good Carabana. We'll keep that party down, Trinidad. When they hear their stories, it hurts, but then you just gotta remind yourself, this child never asked to be here. So stand up as a man and take care of your business.
But your sacrifices, because they can only benefit you in the long run.
Take care of business.
The beauty about it is that there
will be time for fun.
There's always be a coin toss when it comes to
time
having children. But I spoke to a friend today about this, and I told him there's no such thing as a perfect time. There's no such thing. Even if you plan a pregnancy, you can always meet hard times. You can always have a different ideology for the person you having a baby with or how you want to raise them. And that's bring a lot of stress in relationships. So I could understand where you're coming from, but you have 3 and I only have 1.
Yeah.
So that's even more dedication because you got 3 different personalities in you sons.
Yeah.
You have your wife to deal with.
Yeah.
And then there's also time for Drew. So
Yeah.
so between being an artist, being a barber, being a full-time father, being a full-time husband, being an artist, like I mean people can say how many hours in a day you got, like you the bank to Apple and you buying extra because you know what you want to buy extra gigs, you know, like how much? There's real hours though, dude.
It's practice. It's practice. It's practice. It's, as I said, managing the time. I don't like sleep, to be honest.
For you?
I do not like sleep. Ask my wife. I'm serious. I don't like sleep. I don't like sleep. I do not like sleep. And when they say that, I can back that because even like I be sleeping and then quick so I'd be up and I'd be just saying I get up on my phone, tap into some barber ideas, try to keep on top of the game as a businessman.
That's very important.
Try to keep on top of the trend because know that every day something changing, something new about there.
Yeah.
So that's be in my mind. It may not be healthy on my mind or my body, but that is me. That can't get away from me just so until I complete my mission. Until I finish my mission, that's how it can be.
I mean, if you're waking up at 3 a.m. to draw logos,
right?
Yeah.
But he said it.
I usually wake up at 3 a.m. to visit the wife, but I decided that morning to visit the sketch pad.
I said visit the wife.
visit the wife.
Yeah.
Right. So.
You would have said so too.
Yeah, probably. But the aim overall for Tridentcutz, what was the vision? You already have a little vision for like your next.
Yep.
This how many years is this? Is it 5 years that the business was open?
This is 3 years.
3 years. Sorry.
3 years.
So do you have for your 5 year? Because you know most of the time people go in 5, 10, 15, so on. You milestones, right? What is can you give the people any idea of what your upcoming goal is for Tridentcutz Barber Studio?
Yep, I can.
We don't want you to release anything and then it's like a thing where people plagiarize your work.
Interesting.
Because as I
yes,
said,
I do have plans.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, I plan to do more stuff in terms of for the young barbers and pivot the platform more interesting for them in terms of giving them certain tools to work with, showing them certain ways to how to manage their money, how to manage their clients, how that when they get to the point that they have enough clients, how to go and open their shop, where to get their razors from, where to get their tissues from, and these are things that I didn't have. And the reason why I bring that up because I'm real passionate about it, and it's like the older barbers in Barbados, not to bash them because it may not be their fault, but if they had shared the knowledge that they have, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now.
You see what Drew just touched on is a very important thing. We need to understand that yes, some of us would have had to come through the mud and that sort of thing to get to the level, but it does not mean that you have to pass that on to the upcoming youth.
Yep.
Remember, because I remember when I was at BCC, and I had a man that been saying that, I ain't making class easy because I didn't get a degree. I hope that he's somewhere right now, but at least 2 different people. Just want to say thanks to Andrew again for letting us come through and giving us the opportunity to come in, have a conversation, find out about him, find out about everything that's going on with him, and we just want everybody to know that we can keep bringing quality content. So on the count of 3, we looking in this camera here and we telling them what this podcast is and what this podcast was.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3.
Upinsideyuh!